Hello everyone, my name is Gabriel S. Buan from Group 2, and today we will be discussing um, Chapter 4, Manufacturing Processes. So, the first part we have is the how production processes are organized. So, in manufacturing and service industries, one of the most important decisions is how to organize the production processes. Well, this choice determines how work will flow, how resources are arranged, and how products or services are delivered. So, meron po tayong two main parts or two main factors sa decision. These are the production volume and the product standardization. So in product volume, nandito po yung how much of the product is made, and sa product standardization is whether the product is unique or highly standardized. So for example po, if a company produces only one customized product at a time, kunyari po dyan is, example po dyan is yung bahay, the setup will be very different from a company producing millions of identical items. Nandiyan na po yung mga products like yung mga bottles or mga biscuit or yung mga Coke, mga soft drinks. So next po is meron pong 5 major types of production layouts. So in each and each of them is meron po tayong different suited for different situations. So nandito po yung project layout, work center, manufacturing cell, assembly line, and continuous processes. So this all could be compared using the product process matrix, which links product type to the best production method. So una po is yung project layout. In a project layout, the product stays in one fixed location and the resources or sinasabi nating workers, equipment, and tools are brought to the site. Think of it like building mag-imagine na po tayo na gagawa tayo ng bahay. Yung bahay po na yun is hindi po gumagalaw, pero yung construction workers, electricians, and plumbers all go to the location to do their part. So lahat po ng mga employees na yun is pumupunta sa isang specific location, which is yung bahay na sinabi ko kanina, para gawin lahat ng trabaho nila or yung kailangan nila. Next is another example is yung road construction or movie filming on set, where the equipment and staff gather around the project site. So, kagaya na sinabi ko kanina, may isang specific location na fixed location na hindi sila pwedeng magalaw. Lahat ng employees nila is magpunta dun sa isang specific place na yun. So, nandito po, para in simple terms po, para maintindihan nyo pa is, products are often large, bulky, or unique, requires project management techniques to coordinate tasks. Layout areas are planned for materials, workers, and equipment access. So this is best for one-of-a-kind products with low volume but high complexity. So next po is yung work center. In a work center, similar machines or functions are grouped together. For example, all drilling machines might be in one area, all stamping machines in another. Products move from one area to the next depending on what operations are needed. So, siguro, ang example po dito is sa mga factories. Ngayon sa mga factories, di ba, since ngayon is medyo high-tech na tayo or meron na tayong mga machinery, unlike dati is kamay ginagamit natin. Well, example na din yung kamay ngayon. Example na din yung yung handmade. Pero in simple terms na lang po is sa mga machines, Na kunyari, naglilipat yung isang product from one machine to another. Na kunyari, yung isa po is nagmo-mold, yung isa po is naglalagay ng color or stickers, ganun. This is also called job shop po. A machine shop making custom metal parts or furniture for workshops making different designs for each customer. So, in simple terms, very flexible since products can follow different paths, low efficiency compared to assembly lines because scheduling and material movement can be complex. So this is best for customized, low volume production where each product may be different. So next po is yung manufacturing cell. A manufacturing cell is a dedicated area arranged to produce products that share similar processing requirements. Machines are grouped together for a particular family of products. Example, an electronic company may set up one cell for producing circuit boards and another cell for assembling power supplies. So, cells are flexible but still more efficient than job shops, can respond quickly to customers' demand. Products move through the cell in a smoother flow. So, this is best for medium volume, moderately standardized products. Next po is yung assembly line. An assembly line arranges work in fixed sequence of tasks, usually in a straight path. Each workstation performs a small specific task and the product moves step by step until it's finished. Example, automobile factories, toy assembly, household appliances. So, designed for efficiency. This is designed for high efficiency, produces large volumes of identical or standardized products, very little flexibility. If the product design changes, the line often must be restructured. Also, this is best for high volume standardized products where efficiency is critical. Next po is yung continuous process. The continuous process is like an assembly line, but the flow never stops. Instead of moving items in steps, the production is constant and non-stop. So, for example, is yung petroleum refining, chemical production, food processing. Examples po dito is yung soft drinks. And lastly is yung drug manufacturing. So, these are usually highly automated, runs 24 hours a day to avoid shutdowns since stopping and restarting can be very expensive po. Then, produces large volumes to uniform products with little variation. So, this is best for extremely high volume, standardized products that require continuous operation. So, next po is yung i-discuss po natin yung the product process matrix. So, this matrix links product volume and product standardization to the appropriate process type. On one axis is standardization, meaning low equal unique, or low meaning unique, and high meaning identical. So, on the other axis is volume. Low meaning small quantity and high meaning mass production. The diagonal line shows the best matches, and these are low volume, low standardization is project layout and work center. While in medium volume, andito na po yung manufacturing cell. So, in high volume and high standardization, andito na po yung assembly line and continuous process. So, meaning po is a customized wedding dress should not be made on assembly line. it fits best in a job shop or project layout. Meaning po is yung um, basta customize, anything that is customized is not should not be in an assembly line. It bet well, this means that it best fits on or in a job shop or a project layout. So a soda factory should not use a job shop. So it needs a continuous process for efficiency, since syempre unlimited din yan and continuous nga, kagaya ng sinabi ko sa kanina and sa inyo kanina. And of course, dahil soda yan, marami talaga ang kailangan natin non-stop. Yun lang po. And siguro bigyan ko kayo ng key insights, which is match process with product type. A mismatch waste time and money. Flexible layouts or project and work center. Allow customization but are less efficient. Efficient layouts, dito po yung assembly and continuous, are greatly for mass production but cannot handle much variety. So next is yung manufacturing cells. Are a balance, offering both some efficiency and some flexibility. Next was advances in technology today make it possible to combine these strategies. Example po nito is yung flexible automated cells. Thank you.
Break-even analysis. In break-even analysis, we want to find which equipment or which process is better than the other one. So how could we know that? So we could know it by comparing their costs at different production level. The idea here in the break-even analysis is to find where the option A and option B total cost equates. So, pali yung option A daw and option B, nagpantay lang sila ng ng cost or mga expenses. Ganon. So, in production, we usually have a trade-offs. So, this is the general purpose equipment and the special purpose equipment. In general purpose equipment, it can do many different things. So, yung machine na yun is not limited only on one thing, but can do many different things. So, this is why it is very common to many businesses because of its low purchasing cost and it is very quick to set up. However, the time it produces its finished goods takes more time than the special purpose equipment. So an example of this general purpose equipment is the hand drill. Okay, so special purpose equipment, on the other hand, it only focuses on one thing. So it focuses on a specific kind of task. However, it is very expensive and takes longer time to set up. But it is much better than the general purpose one because it could produce an equipment or a finished product by much faster, An example of this is the drill press. So in break-even analysis, it helps us to determine which is better decision in financial sense, So if our demand is low, then the break-even analysis wants us to do is that we want to use the general purpose equipment. And if our demand is high, then it is better for us to use the special purpose equipment. 4.1 Break-even analysis. Suppose a manufacturer has identified the following option for obtaining a machine part. It can buy the part at $200 per unit. So $200 per unit including the materials. So also it can make the part on a numerical controlled semi-automatic lot at $75 per unit including the materials. Or it can make the part on a machining center at $15 per unit including the materials. There is a negligible fixed cost if the item is purchased. So a semi-automatic lot costs 80,000 to be purchased and a machining center costs around 200,000. So to get to get the purchase cost of the $200 per unit, we need to multiply it by its demand. Okay. So for example, our demand in this example or in this video would be that 1,000. Okay. So 200 multiply by 1,000. So here 200, which is the unit per unit cost, and 1,000 is the demand. So if we multiply them, it would be around 200,000. Okay, so this is the purchase cost for the $200 per unit. Okay. To get the produce using lot cost, we need to add the fixed cost or the purchasing cost of the semi-automatic lot, which is around to 800,000. 80,000. Okay, 80,000. So 80,000, we need to add it to the $75 times the demand, which is around 1,000. So we're going to multiply first the 75 times 1,000, which is the demand. So 75 times 1,000 is 75,000. 75,000, yes. So we need to add the 80,000, which is the cost of the semi-automatic lot. So our total produce using lot cost is around 155,000. Okay, that's how you get the produce using lot cost, or yes, that's how you get it. To get the produce using machine centering cost, we need to add the fixed cost, which is around 200,000. So we need to add it to the $15 per unit times 1,000, which is our demand. So 15 times 1,000 is around 15,000. So if we add the cost of machining center, it costs around 200,000. So around 200,000 plus 15,000 is equals to the 215,000. So that's how you get the produce using machining center cost. You need to multiply the 15 and the demand and add the fixed cost. To get the formula of break-even point between the producing using lot cost and producing using machining center cost, we need to input the formula of the two. So first is the producing using lot cost. So 80,000 is the fixed cost plus $75 per unit. So this is what we pay per unit times demand. So next formula would be the producing using machining center cost. So 200,000 is the fixed cost plus 15 per unit dollars times demand. So the formula is that demand is equals to 200,000 minus 80 is 120. Okay, 200 minus 80 is 120,000. So after that, we need to minus or subtract the 75 to 15. 75 minus 15 is 60. Okay, so 120,000 divide 60 is equals to 2,000 units. So what is that mean is that you need around 2,000 units for this, for the option 1 and option 2 to be equal. Okay, you need 2,000 units. So that's their break-even points. Okay, break-even point. So that's how you get the break-even point of producing using lot cost and producing machining center cost. To get the break-even point of the purchase cost, and the producing using lot cost, you need to input the formula here and the formula here. So after that, you need to minus the fixed cost of producing using lot cost and the fixed cost of this. Since it doesn't have any fixed cost, it should maintain as 80,000. After that, you need to subtract 200 minus 75. So it's 125. 80,000 divide 125 is equals to 640 units. So to break even, so the break-even point of the purchase cost and the producing using lot cost is 640. So you need 640 units on both sides to be equal.
Designing a production. By designing a production, there are many techniques available to determine the actual layouts of the production process. First, project layout. In developing a project layout, visualize the product as the hub of a wheel with materials and equipment arranged concentrically around the production point in order of use and movement difficulty. Second, work centers. Work centers, the most common approach to developing this type of layout is to arrange work centers in a way that optimizes the movement of material. Number 3. Manufacturing cell. A manufacturing cell is formed by allocating dissimilar machines to cells that are designed to work on products that have similar shapes and processing requirements.
Good day everyone. Today I will be discussing to you one of the most important topics in manufacturing process, and these are assembly line layout and continuous process layout. Now before I start on defining and differentiating these two types, let me start by sharing the importance of this. This topic is important because layout of a manufacturing process determines efficiency, cost, and quality of the production. A well-designed layout allows companies to produce goods faster, reduce waste, lower the expenses, but still meet the demand of a growing customer. In fact, pinaniniwalaan nila na ang layout are considered the backbone of the production system. To make this easier to imagine, think about our everyday situations. Kung lahat ng classmates natin sabay-sabay gumawa ng group project, but there are no divisions of task, diba? It's chaotic, it's mabagal. Pero kung may roles, isa sa research, isa sa editing, isa sa presentation, mas mabilis natatapos ang task. That is exactly how an assembly line works. It's step by step and organized. Meanwhile, imagine a chocolate fountain sa birthday party. Tuloy-tuloy lang ang flow ng tsokolate. Walang hinto hanggang may supply. That's how continuous process works. Steady, non-stop, uniform, and machine ang gumagana. With those examples, we can see that manufacturing layouts are not just industrial concepts, but also visible in our daily lives. Now let's define it. Assembly line layout, according to the Book of Jacobs, An assembly line is a layout designed for special purpose of building a product by going through progressive steps, meaning sunod-sunod na steps. Each of these steps is done in a specific areas called stations. And typically, these stations are linked with material handling devices. Okay. So, sa next slide ng ating PPT, makikita natin ang visual representation ng assembly line layout. So, as you can see there, mas yung workers, may assigned stations sila. And parang sunod-sunod talaga, there are specific steps na kailangan pagdaanan ng isang raw material para mabuo siya into finished goods. A key element of assembly lines is pacing. Okay? Remember this word, pacing. This regulates the time allowed each station to keep production smooth and consistent. Because of this efficiency, assembly line layouts are widely used by manufacturing firms across the world. An example I could give you is, the most common example I could give you is a car manufacturing. One station installs the engine, another adds the doors, the next installs the wheels, and finally the car is painted and inspected. The product moves step by step. Diba? Do you realize it? Until makumpleto na yung isang product, maturn na siya into finished goods. Now, another example I could give you is like yung burger. Diba? Kailangan step by step. Bun, patty, vegetable, bun. Parang ganun. Parang ganun yung idea ng assembly. From the word itself, assembly, meaning to say, ina-assemble natin. Let's move on to continuous or flow process layout. A continuous process layout is similar to the assembly line, but with one important difference is that the product moves continuously without stopping at stations. This makes it perfect for industries that need 24/7 production of uniform goods. An example I could give you is oil refineries, power plants, yung electricity natin. 'Di ba parang machine lang yung gumagana? Parang ganito. Machine lang yung gumagana and then kailangan siya 24/7. Soft drinks factories, yung paggawa ng liquids, parang yun yung purpose ng continuous process layout. Now, in the next slide, meron tayong comparison. Ito lang yung basics comparison nila, but if you want the detailed one, I have it sa report summary namin. So you could just read it. In conclusion, and the importance, both assembly line layout and continuous process layout plays a very important role in modern manufacturing. Why? Because assembly lines are best for production that requires multiple steps of assembly, such as making cars, gadgets, and appliances. Sa continuous process naman are suited for uniform products that must be produced non-stop, such as oil, beverages, and electricity. These two systems have revolutionized how industry produce goods, making them faster, more cost-efficient, and more reliable. And as we've seen on our simple examples like group projects, palamig, chocolate fountains, these concepts are not only found in factories, but also reflected in our daily life as well. So yun lang, that ends my report. Thank you so much for listening.